Lord Immolation. Looks like I have 6 videos for you, 7 including this one now. Um, it's 40 to 60 minutes worth of stuff, and it's a lot to put up there, but I'm just going to do it. I mean, when people do that to me, people I'm subscribed to, I often don't see them all, and I don't necessarily see them in the right order. But I'm going to try to label them, and at any rate, this video really should be watched first. Because, I went off and I replied to you, but I could also focus. I mean, I could have just replied with this video, probably. But I think there's a lot of information in those other ones, and about how I think, and this issue and topics in this category. So I'm going to leave those up, but I'm going to add this sort of a summary. So I think the real issue, the one main issue that we have to deal with, is about pure reason. If somebody performs Descartes' exercise there of forgetting everything and gets down to there being nothing tangible to rely on, but then one says something like, I think, well, somebody's still using language, right? It takes a brain to do language. As soon as you guys any of you get me to accept that there is such a thing as pure reason, I lose, because right then it's like, yeah, things you can think for free without even needing a brain, but there is nothing. I'm a materialist. To think requires a brain of some sort. Okay. Now, I pointed out that you can't just language itself has a very tangible history, so deriving an a priori truth from language is immediately suspect. But I will use language, and so one of the main things I'm pointing out is that I'm not claiming that there are no a priori truths in general, universally, because I'm a relativist. I don't make universal claims anyway. I'm making a claim for human beings that we don't know a priori truths, you see, and that's very different. That we don't know a priori truths. And it really comes down to, if you continue Descartes' meditation to the point where, wait a second, I just realized I still have language and I haven't doubted it, then you would start thinking, well, what if I had a lesser brain? What if I had a puppy's brain and a cockroach's brain? And as you went down that, dwindling your mental capacity, in the end, so-called pure reason, once you've forgotten everything and everything that you rely on tangible, you won't think at all. There is no thinking in the void. Now, I personally think if you put a human brain in the void, it wouldn't think either. It would be insane. You couldn't even talk to such a brain that it just spend its development time in a void. You wouldn't even be able to communicate with it enough to find out how crazy it was. That's how crazy it would be. But even given that you could somehow assure stability and rationality and put a human brain in the void, what it would derive out of that void is not going to be the same thing as what a puppy's brain would derive, right? Do you think a puppy's pure reasoning would derive these things? If so, that's interesting. What about a cockroach? Would its pure reasoning, or doesn't have reason? Well, at what level does the system break down and not count as reason? Somewhere between here and the void, right? So that's the main summary, but there are other issues in there. So I'm going to upload this, and then there'll be 6 videos to follow. Okay, cheers.